Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the Elite Real Estate Podcast. Very excited again this morning to get my friend Mike Harvey back on the show with us. Welcome in, my friend.
Thank you, Jimmy, for having me again.
Yes, absolutely, buddy. And it's always better. I've had last couple of weeks we've had guests stream in, but it's always better to get face to face, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's just that human connection, right?
Yeah, 100%. So if you guys haven't seen Mike's episode, you can go back and check it out. It's on YouTube. But Mike Harvey from the Roof Resource, and I mean, the business that people don't understand, right? Like how things have changed, right? As far as whether that's with real estate, whether that's with construction, whether that's with roofing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you guys are cutting edge with the Roof Resource.
Yeah, thank you. It's pretty different.
Yeah.
When people are asking us about what you do and you're in roofing, and you let them know that it's completely virtual and we never meet homeowners and pricing up to 50% less than retail, et cetera, et cetera. They're just always, wow.
Yeah. And again, guys, if you don't understand it, like it's amazing. We're going to dive into it today. But you came up with this idea. How long has the Roof Resource been a thing?
December 2020 is when I became a corporation and launched the Roof Resource.
Okay.
March of 21 was the first customer that I had.
Okay. And that's another thing I want people to understand. What you said is it was 2020, and then
Yes.
March 21 was your first customer.
Yes.
Because you're building everything.
Yeah.
Right. Like that's what people. It's overnight success. It's like,
No, it's when you look back and people don't really realize that there's a lot of behind the scenes. So when they see me and they're like, "Oh, this is amazing and great," you don't get to see all the practice, all of the not the struggles, but you're building everything.
Right.
And that does take time.
Right.
To get to this point. It's almost 5 years now.
Yeah. And there's a lot of I's to be dotted and a lot of T's to be crossed on the backside of this thing.
Yeah.
For
sure.
Yeah. And so now how many states are you guys in now? Because I know the last time you were on, you got a call that last time you were on. I think you were adding one at that morning.
Yeah, that was Pennsylvania. And so we're going through the digital play now to get that up and running and start marketing in the Philadelphia, Scranton area.
Okay.
We were launching Idaho. We launched Montana. We just launched the whole east side of Tennessee. And of course, at that time, we were just getting into the Columbus market, which we are fully launched throughout Columbus into the Dayton market, Dayton, Ohio, fully launched in Austin, Texas. And then we launched the west side of Michigan. So basically, for those who are in Michigan, when you take, half the mitten, your knuckles across and everything down is completely been awarded as franchising.
Okay.
However, though, we do cover the entire state, just our network. And that's something from the insurance perspective we take care of.
Yeah. And it is growing quickly because people are seeing the follow-up, right? The idea behind it. And once you understand it, right, that's always the when everything starts to change. EXP went through the same thing. Cloud-based brokerage, like, what does that mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so now the Roof Resource is like, what does that mean?
Right. Once people, when I explain the why, like why we created the company, it's from, landscape companies to real estate companies to people get really behind what we're doing.
Right.
Because it's just right for the homeowner. Once you buy a home, as you know,
yep.
I feel, why does a homeowner then have to hey, you're a homeowner now, so you have all this cash to potentially overpay on services for your home. And that's why we've always said the Roof Resource, your home, your savings, because we want to keep that money, with homeowners.
Right. Yeah. And because again, we have these storm chasers, right? That will come out and tell you that your roof needs to be totally replaced. And does it? Maybe, right? Maybe. But also we're going to charge it 3 times as much because it rained yesterday.
Yeah. And the whole storm chasing world, and that, again, that's the model that is I will say the older archaic model, and storm comes through and someone has some hail. People show up and they knock at the door. They might represent a local company. They may not. And when a homeowner sees that price point, because it's a higher rated, it's a higher price. Let's just put it there.
Right.
They then are shocked. They're like, wow, I had no idea that my roof is going to cost me $25,000. Well, we just went through one with, we just onboarded and we're doing a pilot with AAA. And it was not 24 something that the gentleman had. We did the roof for 14.4. So when you think about that homeowner, in the event that if insurance wasn't going to pay, they are seeing a price point of 25 grand.
Right.
And they're freaked out. They're like, oh my God. And then they tell a neighbor, and the neighbor says, oh my God, that's the price? I don't want to do my roof. We step in and we're like, tap that, 10 grand less.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's important because you're right. It's expensive to do your roof. Again, pitches matter. There's all the things that go into it, right? It all matters. But at the same point, and you're right. And now insurance companies are for us, we're finding on the real estate side, are less likely to insure that house, which we can't close without homeowners insurance, right? They're less likely to close on that if that roof is 25 years old, right? Or if there's an issue that has popped up, if there's something going on with it. And look, we have AI, we have Google Maps, they have all the things to look at the house. It's not rocket science to figure out that the insurance company can find that house. But it's so for us on our side, it's like now it becomes a in the transaction, like, well, my house is, we paid, $300,000 for the house. It's going to be 45 grand to fix the roof. Well, my buyer doesn't want to put an extra 45 grand into it. The person selling it doesn't want to sell it for 45 grand. Like, you know what I mean? Less.
Yeah.
So it gets sticky.
And we get phone calls. I had probably a half a dozen phone calls that came in just in the past week. And it was situations just like that. And I get it. Home inspectors don't want to kill a deal. They don't want to kill a deal for a realtor. They don't want to say, hey, guess what? That roof is shot.
Right.
They want to say it's end of life. They want to say it's maybe 1 to 3 years. But what you just said, ultimately, it's going to come down to that insurance company saying, hey, we see the analytics of that house, because insurance companies are now using drone technology, and the roof is part of your maintenance. I mean, a homeowner needs to maintain their roof.
Yeah.
And so the insurance company steps in and says, we're not going to put a policy on that till you put a new roof on it. And then that becomes an issue. And so we have realtors now that are, calling us up and just saying, hey, we need to get a proposal. How long is it going to take you to do that? And we always tell our realtor partners, like, within hours, and they're like shocked. And then we get that to them. And another quick little sideline story is that we had another broker from Novi. He reached out because he had heard about us from another realtor, and we provided him a quote on this really large home. And what happened is that he was able to go back to the buyer and say, hey, that roof is not 50 grand to put on, it's only 21. And they bought the house.
Yeah.
And so it helped him close on the house, knowing that, hey, it's not 50, it's only 21. This is a company that'll do it. And then we have others that's come in, and I just had another person say, that would have helped me sell this house in Hamburg. And she's like, I need you guys to come in and talk to all of our agents, because now we're actually doing this for a current customer of theirs.
Yeah.
And so we help on both sides. And, I always say clarity is inspiring. So if you get, a price from us, and you can take it to the table and you can use it to negotiate, or, that's your world.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's huge because it's a big ticket item. And I always say, like, it's one of those big ticket items. You can't go, hey, do you like my new roof? Right. It's not something to show off. Right. Like if you got a new TV, you'd be like, hey, come look at my new TV. Right. You buy a new roof. You're like, look at my new roof. Now, being a homeowner and spending money on a roof before, I would take people outside and go, like, my new roof, right? Because I spent a lot of money on the damn thing and I want people to see it. But it is one of those things, and it becomes either a selling point or a non-selling point with the roof on a house, right? So if I'm going to look at a house and the roof's been done within the last 5 years, I'm like, good, roof's been done in the last 5 years. We don't have to worry about it.
Right. And as you know, there's curb appeal, and there's part of our process is that homeowners get choice of all these different roofing systems, top of the line. As a matter of fact, there was a gentleman yesterday that called me up. He's now 3 weeks into looking at all these different brands because he really wants to maximize his house and the brick and the color.
Right.
And I'm like, hey, John, that's part of the experience.
Right.
Because curb appeal, when they pull up and they see this brand new roof and it looks great. And obviously when I say obviously, it's transferable to the new owner one time, that lifetime warranty. It just makes things better and easier for the agent.
Yeah. Yeah. And, the average homeowner's in their house for 3 to 5 years. So if I got a roof that's going to last me 20, I'm doing pretty good, right? I'm doing pretty good. Dave Pachoy just said, "Good morning, gentlemen. Thank you for the help with all his clients." Mike.
Oh yeah, Dave, he just called the other day and said, "Hey, the proposal, they're going to be giving you a call. They're going to move forward with it." And he's had, I think, several customers that he has reached out and we provided proposals to, and he's a perfect example. So agents could give him a call and he could say, "This is how fast, we operate," and we get those numbers, and then 7 to 10 days it's installed.
Yeah, it's so helpful for us because it is quick, right? We're in the middle of a transaction that they want to get closed, right? We've got this window of we had an inspection, the roof is bad, we still want to get to the closing table, but how quick can we get out? And you guys are coming out within 24 hours.
Well, and we're delivering this proposal, and so part of what I would really hope today is for people who are listening and the agents, trust the process. The process works. Sometimes it's like, well, how do they measure it? And you're not coming out, and there's questions, but we have perfected this over 5 years.
Yeah.
And so when you need that proposal and we run a report, and we always tell, and this is truthful, we'll have it ready in within an hour. I mean, but our bandwidth is, when we're getting demands all over, but we'll have that ready within an hour. And typically, I actually had another realtor reach out and was like, I think it was a Tuesday night. It was Monday night. Never met them. And they're like, "Hey, we need this, how soon?" And I'm like, "No, I'll have it in the morning." I had a couple appointments in the morning and I'm getting the text message, "Hey, where's that proposal?"
Right, right.
But we get it. She got it within the very next morning. And, that's how fast we can deliver it. And we want agents to know that you can stand on that price and our process.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's huge because, again, guys, look, there's technology out there. You don't need to get up on the roof and measure it anymore, right? You don't have to there's technology for all this stuff. You don't have, it's the new school.
Right. And there's what happens, when you open up the roof and it needs some wood? We have a process in place for that.
Yeah.
What if this happened? We have a process in place for that. We have an attic inspection that's provided once they become a customer. So we get all of the eyes, basically the video pictures internally on the outside. Again, the whole process is set up so that the homeowner wins.
Right.
Which then we call it be the hero. The realtor wins because when the realtor brings us to the table and says, "Wait, there's these traditional roofing company quotes. I'm going to bring the roof resource to the table."
Yeah.
And, it is a game changer.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. And again, it is, guys, look, you have the process down. Yeah. You have the process down. This isn't it's new to you. It's new to the people out there that are doing this. It's not new to you. Right. And again, you've got guys like Dave out there that are saying, this was because the first time you were on the show, one of Dave's questions was, what do you do if you open up and there's wood that needs to be replaced?
Oh yeah, that's right.
You're like, we already have that in there.
Already covered.
Yeah, exactly. Don't worry about
it. And so we encourage realtors to reach out. We encourage the brokers to reach out because again, they have 20, 30, 40 agents, and you just don't know. And what's something I learned from you about, hey, the realtor, it's roof, windows, and heating and cooling systems.
Yeah.
Those three are the potential deal killers. And with the roof resource, you can eliminate that roof.
Yeah.
That roof will never be an issue with us.
Yeah. Yeah. Easily. And I mean, again, too, you've got some big partnerships that you just landed with some insurance companies.
Yeah. So we've been working with Farm Bureau, and Denise Mansfield, who's a fan of the show and been on the show. She was the one who came to me a few years ago and said, "Hey, you're going to do this for me," and I'm like, "I don't even know what you're talking about."
Right.
But we have now done multiple customers, and we're working with them, and the pilot is working wonderfully with them. The data that I just shared back with them was dynamite. And then we just signed, and we're doing a pilot program with AAA, and we just did their first customer. I was on a Zoom meeting with them. There was probably about 45 claim adjusters, getting them to know about the roof resource and what we do. Had a claim come over to us literally about an hour later. That particular customer, that was a Friday, he became a customer on a Monday, and just this Wednesday he was installed. 5-star rating from Michael Munley.
Yeah. And 10 days?
10 days.
Yeah.
From inception, from when we received it.
Yeah. I mean, again, it's not happening very much out there that this is happening that quickly. So if you're realtors that are trying to close deals and the roof is a sticky point, reach out to Mike at the Roof Resource, please, and get this thing done.
Right. And it's reach out to us. We get the proposal. And if you're taking the roof to the table and you guys are, doing your negotiating and what have you, great. Pass that proposal to the new homeowner. Or the other part of it is, if the roof looks like it's going to be in contention, put on a new roof at half the price. And the retail price of that roof is, even though that we install it this way for 15, the retail price is 30.
Right.
I mean, so the value of the home does go up, because then you got, as you know, curb appeal. It's a lifetime warranty. It looks fantastic. And, most homeowners look at a larger home and they think, wow, that's a $40,000 or $50,000 roof.
Right. Yeah. And I think people don't look at that enough, right? Realtors, not that we don't have enough to look at already, but when we look at stuff, and as a realtor, like, that's something you have to take into consideration for your client, because how much are they spending on this new house, right? Financially, it's obviously going to be more money, right? If something were to happen to the roof next week, would they have to sell the thing because they can't afford it anymore?
Right. Yeah. And we direct people to cost versus value. So cost versus value, you probably know about it as well. And it has roof replacement that here's the retail value. In your first year, you're going to get back 56% of the money that you've invested. But with us, being that it's up to 50% less than retail, you can get 100% of your money back. We've had agents put on a brand new roof and list the property for $50,000 more and get it.
Yeah.
Because it's a brand new roof. And of course, curb appeal makes the house look way better.
And it looks really good on your listing that says brand new roof, right? Because that value is there. Now, me as a realtor, when I take my client in there, I'm like, hey guys, the roof is brand new. Something you're never gonna have to worry about in this house, right? That's a big selling point. And you're right. If you could spend 20 and get an extra 50 out of your house, that makes sense.
Right. And most of the roofs are, in that 2,500 to 3,000 square home, maybe 30 squares, 12 to 14 grand, and that may seem like a lot, but it's not a lot when you think of, hey, this is brand new roof on a house.
Right.
It's lifetime. These are 50-year roofs. And even the manufacturers will say, hey, don't say 40 or 50. It is a 40-year, 50-year, and then it's 20% for the life of the roof, just from a warranty perspective, what it covers. So homeowners are shocked that these are not 10-year shingles or 20-year shingles. It's a lifetime, because we put on full systems on any roof that we do. So homeowners are getting a lifetime roof.
Yeah.
So
this isn't just Joe with a truck that comes to your house and slaps some shingles on.
Yeah. At the end of the day, those smaller guys exist.
Yeah.
And different roofing companies exist, and this is just our process. And this is what we do.
Yeah.
It's just like, hey, there's Amazon. People love Amazon. It's quick, it's fast, they get great pricing, they get great service. That's what our homeowners get here with us. It's, hey, I need to get a roof. Within 24 hours, we're going to let you know exactly, line item by line item. We charge a flat fee for our service. Here's materials, labor, dumpster permit. Here's where all the money goes. You get your choice. Become a customer. It'll be done in 10 days, 7 to 10 days.
Yep.
No headaches, no stress, no people in your home trying to sell you, all of that. Now, if you want to go down the old road is we say that's the gravel road, and that's the traditional roofing.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of great companies out there that have been doing this for 20, 30, 40 years, but it's 20, 30, 40 years of traditional roofing.
Yep.
This is we've been called the Amazon of roofs and the Uber of roofs. So
yeah. Well, we at EXP have been called the same.
Yes, you have.
We've been called other things too, but you know what I mean? Which I'm sure you have too, right? But yeah, that's what's been really interesting about the Roof Resource and talking with EXP, because the model is so similar, right? Like the model, like when you and I first met, and I was explaining it, I'm like, yeah, it's like Netflix and Blockbuster, and you're like, oh my God, that's the same way I explain our stuff. I'm like, yeah, that's how that's the only logical explanation for it.
Right, and it gives people perspective, because I'm like, okay, well, roofing, traditional, Blockbuster, VCR, tapes. People go, oh my God, right? And then we're the Netflix of roofing.
Yeah.
It's online, it's quick, it's fast, it's service related, it's low price. You get all of those.
Yeah, Dave just gave us another message. He said, I called Mike after inspection revealed end of life, so I was able to get my buyer comfortable with Mike. Got me cost within a few hours. It likely kept our deal together as we negotiated.
Yeah, thank you, Dave. It's just, we're here to serve. And, that's the other piece. We're not here to sell.
Right.
There's no selling involved. It's just, hey, we're a service. This is what we do and how we do it. The real estate industry is big. And of course, like EXP and your model and our model, it's just like, well, it's just that you're similar to us and I'm similar to you, but you're in real estate and we're in roofing, and it's like, hey, we should do some big things together.
Right. And there may be some big things coming down the line. Yeah. So you guys be ready. There may be some more bigger announcements coming down the road.
More to come.
That's right. Because again, like you said, this is what I want people to understand about this too. You are providing a service. This isn't just you and I have had a ton of conversations now. We've become good friends out of here. And so like, it's not about the money, right? Yes, we all try to make money. We all do this for a reason, right? But you are providing a service to people. That's how I coach agents, right? There's a whiteboard out there that says stop selling and start helping, right? And that's where you came in with this, because you started this in a different way. The Roof Resource wasn't your first dip into roofing.
Well, no, right. It was the traditional.
Yeah.
Hey, a friend that was, sending me pictures of his safe, and it's just filled with all this cash, and look at roofing, and honestly, that's where most people, they go to work for a roofer and they see how much money's in the business, and they spin off and they start their own roofing company. And so I was just transitioning out of corporate America. And so I was like, okay, you know what? Now I'm going to take my own, I'm going to get uncomfortable. I'll have to show it to you. There's a photo of me up on a roof with a DeWalt drill, and I look like a deer in headlights because I'm afraid of heights.
Okay. So even worse. Yeah.
Even worse. And but for 9 months was learning the industry. We grossed $1 million. Just the two of us.
Yeah.
But I was just like, man, this is the worst feeling that I have in the world. I just felt like, man, if I could do great things for my family and take care of them, why can't I just do that for everybody?
Right.
And, God was a download that I can, you can, and why don't you?
Yeah.
And so it was, take it on the chin for a couple of years, Mike.
It's true. And again, that's overnight success, right?
Right.
So we hear that so many times about these big corporations, and then the big corporations are like, you know how long I've been working on this? Like, there's so much blood, sweat, and tears that goes in behind the scenes. But because it is good and because it is becoming successful, right? People assume that it hasn't been around for a long time, right? But you've been in the grind of this for 5 years. Like, this isn't, and some people consider 5 years an overnight success, right? I would, because 5 years really in a span of life is not that long. But it's those endless nights, those sleepless nights, am I doing this for the right reasons? Am I doing this right? Right. Mm-hmm. And then what people fail to understand sometimes too is you're building out a corporation. Mm-hmm. You have people now relying on you
Mhm.
to for a living, right? Like that's a whole other level to this whole thing.
Yeah, it's it was scary.
Yeah.
It's when you're it's when it's just yourself, you're okay. Like wins and losses
Yeah.
for yourself. But now when you have a staff of 10 people, and then you have franchisees, and all across the country, and the decisions that you make are decisions that everyone gets behind, and I have a board and all of that good stuff. But yeah, I mean, it's like, hey, we want to make certain that you're feeding families now, and
Right.
they're trusting in the company and our vision and what we're doing and where we're going, and so it's bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. But you're service based and you're doing things the right way.
Yeah, you know what? Every night I tell people if I can lay my head on the pillow and feel good with what I'm doing, and I said, there's not one customer in this country that has had our service that I could say I did anything different for them in Indiana or in Ohio or in Idaho that we haven't done for here in Michigan.
Right.
Everyone is treated the same way. Everyone gets the process. It's when you walk into a McDonald's, I'll bring that up. It's French fryers on the left, milk machines on the right.
That's it.
And we have the same process. It's like it's maniacal focus that, hey, there's 7 to 10 days. They go through the same process in Idaho, in Texas, in Ohio, and we do what's right for the homeowner.
Yep. Yep. And we did get one question. When will you be in Atlanta and the rest of Georgia?
Well, here's the great answer to that. We can fire up in Atlanta because we are, while we're franchising, we are also going to be, the majority of the country will be wholly owned. And so when the demands come in a market, we can be in that market within 30 days. And I know Ken's listening as he drives down to, Columbus right now. He's like, "Oh, thanks, Mike." So but we can fire up because again, the partnerships that we build, everybody wins in the partnership. So it's not challenging to find the best of the best installation companies that do right by homeowner. And we contract, and Ken he's the vice president of strategic partnerships, and he facilitates all of that.
Yeah.
And the dumpster companies, and they come together and they align with us because we do things differently, and they see it and they're like, wow, this is fantastic. Like all I have to do is do my one little part, and our process actually helps them all. And so, long answer to that question, to be in Atlanta, we'd love to come down and talk to the broker and see what the bandwidth looks like down there. But yeah, we're also partnered with a company called Axiom Home Inspection, and they're nationwide. So Axiom has asked us the same thing about Atlanta, Georgia, because they're doing, I think Wade had said like 500 or 600 home inspections a month.
Wow.
And he's like, as soon as you can get there, we can actually then, all those inspections that need roofs will come to you.
Yeah.
So
you're lined up and ready. So soon on Georgia.
Yeah. So that's a long answer. So soon, and we can always have Ken come down and talk.
There you go. That's it. And I think the other thing is too, as this is growing out, you are going to see people. Again, people are going to be attracted to this because it's new, it's exciting, and it's different, right? And it's very similar. Again, that's why we keep going back to the EXP thing, right? It's kind of the same thing. It's how do we meld these things together and work together. And again, there'll be some more news coming out later, but we'll keep them on the edge of their seat for right now. It's like when you watch the news at night and they put the weather at the end because that's the only thing anybody wants to see.
Right.
You got to watch the whole thing to get to the weather part.
Right.
So we'll hold the weather off till later.
Right. Just stay tuned.
That's right. Stay tuned. But so in Michigan now, like specifically, I know we've got callers from all over the place. I've got California. You're not in California yet?
Not yet.
Yeah.
More to come.
Yeah, more to come. But yeah, and I get watchers from everywhere. But yeah, I think your growth potential is whatever, right? I mean,
yeah. So with on the insurance side,
yeah,
that's going to be the big play. I spoke with I've spoke with senior leaders with Farm Bureau and with AAA. And Farm Bureau now, we're now talking with those in Tennessee, Texas, Montana, Colorado, Idaho, and they've mentioned Indiana. And so once we continue to kind of run the water through the pipes and everything's exactly what I've said, what we would do and how we do it, then that expansion is going to happen. And we know that it won't be just Farm Bureau, who is the champion, right, of identifying this newness and saying, hey, there's something there, because they're very tech focused as well.
Okay.
And it'll be then State Farm, it'll be other insurance agencies, because at the end of the day, we're here in this insurance agency,
Yep.
and they have homeowners who, when they need a roof, who do we turn to? And they'll call the insurance agency. We become that hero for the insurance agency because they can recommend us,
Right.
And know that this is the process they're going to get. And so we know that it'll be State Farm, USAA, all the other names that will utilize our service for their homeowners, and then of course for the storm claim,
Right.
because it's a win all the way around,
Right.
And so at that point, our growth, will be exponential.
Yeah.
Not to mention more to come.
More to come. Tara Chody said, good morning. And she also said, cool to see how quickly you're growing.
Oh, thank you.
So I think if we have callers in, and so if you guys want to, add something on the phone, just hit star, you unmute yourself and say hello. If you got questions for Mike, but again, what is, you've been all over the place too. Like you've been on TV, you've been on radio, you've been on podcasts, you're like out there, like doing all these interviews. And how's that side been for you?
Yeah, it's been good. Because when people are starting to, I would say the last 6 months, really have identified like what we're doing for homeowners. And again, I say that we're not selling anything. And so being on a variety of different podcasts, we've been on Channel 4 WDIV here multiple times. Ken, matter of fact, is driving down right now. He's going to be on a Channel 4 station at 12:30 today for our franchisees in Columbus to talk about the roof resource and why we do and what we do and why we do it.
Right.
And so that's been great because it really lets people know a little bit more about us, other than, hey, they send in a form and they get a proposal, but I ask them to listen to the podcast or some of the TV segments, because they get to understand the why.
Right.
The why behind it is so important, because I think that's the driver for every company, right? The why behind EXP and why you guys do what you do. Same thing for us. And matter of fact, our newest franchisee, Patrick Kilborn, just attended it was the West Bloomfield Birmingham Chamber. First time showing up, going in and introducing himself. They're becoming a member there, and had phone calls yesterday. People were like, wow, like this is what my dad needs a roof. And this person needs a roof. And it's because they identify what we do and why we do it.
Yep.
And so these podcasts, this podcast here, I can tell you, Shimmy, I share that with you, like, with Facebook social, I pretty much just use this for work. And coming on this podcast, this was in February, I think, right?
Yeah, I think you were in February. Yeah.
I was like 1.1, followers or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm over 6,000 now. I came on this podcast and it was just, bam, my social media just blew up, and again, it's just connecting with realtors all over the country.
Yeah.
Getting messages about, hey, can you help here? Can you help here? This is a proposal. What do you think? I mean, just a lot of different great messages.
Yeah. Well, good, man. I'm glad that worked. But you're right. It is because it's your message, right? You're coming from a place of help. You're not selling. You're helping people, right? You looked at this industry and said, well, how can we make it better, right? And that was more of the reason why.
Yeah, I just said, hey, if I can do this for my family, why can't I do that? And it was that moment where I looked up my grandmother's house and her driveway and looked down the street, and I said, if I could do it for them, why can't I do it for others? Like, I can. It's a choice. It's a tough road to go because you're going to do it differently. And I will tell you, that first year, everyone said, boy, you're crazy. It'll never work. You can't do it. And then I got a bunch of hate messages from other roofing companies, owners, and they're saying things, and I'm like, hey, I can sleep at night. I know what I'm doing and I know what's right.
Yeah.
So, but it comes from a place of service.
Yeah, it does. And again, getting to know you uh, at a different level, right? And becoming really good friends. I feel like it's again, God funny, right? He puts people in different rooms for different reasons. And again, there was a reason that Denise said, "Hey, you should have Mike Harvey on." And I said, "Who's Mike Harvey?" And she said the same thing to you. You're like, "What's this podcast?" Like, yeah, who is this thing? And it worked, right? But it's because that message is the same, right? That message, yes, we're here for growth and we're here for expansion and we're here to do all the things, but we're going to do it the right way, right? Can it take a little bit longer than maybe just cutting some corners? It probably does, right? But at the end of the day, I can put my head down at night and sleep well, not worry about somebody else, putting somebody else in a bind over what I'm trying to do, right? That we're just doing the right thing at the right times with the right people, and it just makes sense.
Right. Yeah. And I had an opportunity to meet some other people in the podcasting world, and opportunity was big, all these followers, and the values just didn't line up. It was, hey, this is a race to the bottom. And I said, no, it's not a race to the bottom. It's just doing what's right.
Right.
For homeowners. It's not drive the price down but I'm like, hey, if we can scale something, I always say like, hey, Jeff Bezos, and some people like him, some people don't. But at the end of the day, I think that we all really like, going online at 7:30 at night and ordering a floaty and then getting it at your door at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And then we go, how did he do that?
Right.
Wait a minute, the price is the same at Target. Like, how did he do that? We're not worried about the how anymore. We just want our package at 7:30 in the morning.
Right.
And so it's making certain that people see the value of our values, your core values, our core values. We talk about transparency, we talk about unity, we talk about reliability and nurturing. Those four things are part of what we breathe every single day at our company, and we share that with our homeowners. That's part of it. And so when we go out and I'm partnering or potentially going to have this relationship, and if someone doesn't really get that, no matter how big somebody can be, then it's just not going to work for us.
Right. And I know this, but what's your newest message with the Roof Resource?
The Roof Truth.
Yeah.
And it was very interesting way that came about, but it just was, we kept on saying, we just want to give you the truth. Once you get the truth, then whatever you choose to do with it, you can go to, use it to negotiate with a friend of yours in another roofing company. But this is the truth. We have national pricing on our materials, national, not local independent pricing. And then we get national rates with our labor partners and dumpster partners. And so when we bring that truth to a homeowner, we're comfortable. And it is a, excuse me, Jimmy, it's a very powerful message to be able to tell a homeowner in the proposal. Now it says, here's the roof truth.
Yeah.
Because at the end, homeowners want clarity and they want certainty. When they get certainty, man, they're great, right? And we want to be able to deliver that. So that's the message.
Yeah.
The roof truth.
The roof truth. It's pretty simple.
Say that 10 times.
Yeah, it's a pretty simple design, right? But again, it kind of goes back to the original reason you started this is a pretty simple idea too.
Yeah.
It's like, how can I take what I'm discounting this for my grandma, right? I can put this roof on for cheaper for her. Why can't I do it for the lady next door?
Well, yeah, I was like, hey, for my brother and my grandmother, they live next door to one another. And I'm like, I'm handling the entire process for them. And I said, guess what? Pick any color you want. You get to choose my price. And they're like, wow. I go, don't worry about, I'll make certain that the labor gets taken care of. I'll make certain the dumpster's here. I'll handle everything for you. I'm your concierge. And then it was like, wow, why can't I do that for everybody?
Right.
And here we are.
Yep. It's truly, it is inspiring to see it. Because again, a lot of us feel the same way. Like, how can I bring this level of service to everybody? Which on the real estate side, we should be bringing the same level of service to all of our clients, right? But again, it's not a hard sell. It's not. Again, nobody likes to be sold, right? Nobody likes to be sold anything. When we go to the mall and they have that one area where it's all the little things in the middle, right? And they're spraying cologne on you, and they're trying to get you to foot orthotics, and they're trying to. It's like I just want to go shop. Like, leave me alone, right? Yeah. I compare it to the furniture store a lot. Like when you walk in the furniture store, it's like sharks, right? They're up on you, and it's like, I'm just looking. Well, nobody goes into the furniture store just to look. Not one person.
Right.
We're going in there for something. The problem is then when I find the thing, I can't find a salesman because I already told them 3 times that I was just looking.
Right.
Now I need a salesman. So instead of the agent, ask questions. Hey, welcome into the store. What are you looking for today? Oh, I'm just looking. Cool. What are you looking for today? Can I point you into a direction? Asking more questions, right, to get to the bottom of that instead of buy my roof, right? Everybody knows, and you can start talking over people's heads. You can start saying, well, this roof, this long, and it has this kind of material, and it's, I don't know what that means.
Well, and that's the confusion part of it. Because when I did this for family, I'm like, choose anything. I'm going to give you all the top of the line, and I'm going to give you full systems. They didn't understand what that meant, but I'm like, you just choose the color. Because what happens in the traditional world is, a homeowner says, I need to, get a roof, and they go out online, and their information's fed to 50 different companies, and they're out there, and then they set up appointments, and this one company says GAF is the best ever. So the homeowner's like, okay, great, and they just pitch them on GAF. Well, the next guy steps in and goes, well, certainteed, and we're a certainteed preferred installer,
certified, right?
Certified, and it's certainteed. And then somebody else comes in and says, well, it's Owens Corning, and they're just like, okay, wait a minute, I got 3 different companies, all telling me 3 different roofing systems, 3 different price points. They're all different. And I'm like, who wants a customer experience like that?
Yeah.
Now they've invested 6 to 10 hours, and some of that is hard closing. And then you get another company that says Atlas is the way to go. And so we just said, hey, guess what? Here's the price. This price that we provide you is inclusive of all of those brands. You just choose the color that's going to look the best, because at the end of the day, Certainteed Landmark Pro, and if I had every one of the reps here, Certainteed Landmark, Certainteed, Owens Corning, GAF, they would have to defend their shingle, right? Off the record, they'd be like, hey, we're all good.
Yeah.
We're all good.
Yeah.
They come, small little nuances, but we're all good. And so that's the experience that we created for homeowners.
Yeah. And I think that's the thing. And so when you say, and so for people that don't out there, no, but when you say a whole system, what does that mean?
Yeah. So a whole system means that when that homeowner chooses Owens Corning, and Owens Corning has Owens Corning cap, Owens Corning underlayment, Owens Corning ice and water shield, Owens Corning starter, we use the full system. So every significant component of that roof is all that brand.
Okay.
We had early meetings in 21 and 22 with Owens Corning. They came out and met with us because they were like, what are you doing? Like, how could you do 2,500 squares and never meet homeowners?
Right.
And they then shared with us that there's times where homeowners have a warranty issue. They've gone out to the home, pulled back the shingle, and it was a different name. Like, it could be the roofing company's name, it could be a generic name, and they're like, sorry, you have no warranty. You have no warranty. You have to call the roofing company that installed you. Well, cross your fingers, and
hopefully they're still in business.
Hopefully they're still in business, or in the roofing world, 99% of them sub it out to somebody else.
Right.
Doesn't matter, and it's not a bad thing. It's just that, hey, guess what? They're out there wanting to find good quality workers. They work under the person's license, and they sub it out. And so they then have to find that group, or they have to send in another group to do the repair. And so with us, we keep it so that it's a full system, 100% with that Owens Corning or Certainteed Landmark Pro is the one that we use. And so that gives certainty and a surety to that homeowner that they have a lifetime warranty, which then we register the day that the roof is done. We handle all of that for homeowners.
Yeah. And the permits and the dumpsters,
Yep.
Everything just shows up.
Everything shows up. It's a cadence that we have, and the homeowner, typically spends maybe 3 minutes on the phone with, 2 different services, and that's it.
Yeah.
It is seamless. They don't have to go anywhere. And we let homeowners know that, hey, if they want to hold the shingle, they want to go into a showroom, SRS, Wimsat locally here in Michigan, or we've got obviously throughout the country, is our partner. And we embrace that to say, if you want to go into the showroom, feel free. Homeowners are like, I can do that. We're like, absolutely.
Yeah.
You can actually go into an SRS and there's a showroom in there. And people are like, wow, I didn't know that. I'm like, you can take boards home. Absolutely no cost to you. So if they want that experience too, they can have that.
Yeah. And I think that's the cool part. I think it's nobody, there's not a salesman there. You don't have to put a salesman in my house.
Correct.
It's just,
that world to us is gone.
Yeah.
If somebody truly wants to have somebody come out and we call it a quick 30, then we'll send somebody out, and it's really at that point, they just get to meet somebody.
Yeah.
And you're from the company and okay, great. And there's certain specifics that we have to follow when a homeowner wants that. But I'll tell you, 99% of the time it is, hey, this is fantastic, because we get them on a Zoom, Jimmy. And so once we run their report, we have their roof report, we have their proposal. They let us know that, hey, they've got, 20, 30 minutes. We take them through their roof report so they can see their home, all the measurements. Like, we're not making this up. Here's the pitch, your eaves, your rakes, your valleys, and all the different photos. And then we show them how that translates into materials and labor and dumpster costs. And then they get to see it. And we say, that's the truth. There you go. And then we step them through. We're going to have an attic inspection. The day of the installation, all of this is going to happen. We spell it out for them. Hey, if there's wood, if there's fascia board, if there's a second layer or third layer, this is what happens. And they have certainty at that point. They
Right.
now have clarity.
Simple and easy.
I mean, right now it doesn't get any easier.
Right.
And we do hope, because we're going to be, we have a national partnership. We'll be talking with brothers who just do gutters this afternoon. I met with the owner and they want to partner with us nationwide, which we believe this is going to be a really good thing, because they just do gutters. We just do roofs.
Right.
So it's like peanut butter and jelly.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And so, but yeah, great things are going to happen there.
Yeah. Yeah. It's incredible, man. And it's a testament to you staying in the pocket and getting this system down. You know what I mean? And again, what's that like for the future of the roof resource? Can you make it easier?
Yeah. So we are, because we wireframed our own CRM. And so that CRM is how we go about our business. So we didn't go out and buy, Job Nimbus or, sign up with them and buy all of these other CRMs. We wireframed it because all of our IP goes into that. And as we continue to evolve and get better, we will get into windows. We will get into siding. We will get into cement, because those are all things around the home that we can virtually have access to and give a customer a better experience when they want to, have these different services done.
Yeah. And package it all together potentially.
Yeah. I mean, and set it up so that, hey, they can do a roof this year. They can do their windows next year. We have financing right on our website too. So when you're talking about packaging it all up, we've partnered with all of the credit unions in the country. So there's a third-party service that I had found that provides the best credit unions in the country to offer the best rates for homeowners. Within 72 hours, they're funded and the money goes directly to the homeowner. And I was like, wait, this is fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, why don't people know about this kind of resource? And again, so that's on our website. So I will tell you though, probably 90% of homeowners, because the price is so, this is going to be a crazy word, affordable for a roof. They're like, wow, I can put that on my credit card.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's crazy that it is that affordable, right? And you and I were talking a bit before, these prices of $45,000, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then what was your price?
14. Right.
It varies, right? But
it can be free. It's matter of fact. So my brother, had a foot injury, and so he was going through therapy. And so he's just chatting with his physical therapist, and he lives out in White Lake, and said, "Yeah, I got to get a roof." He's like, "Hey,
Yeah.
you need to give my
I got a guy.
call. You need to give my brother a call." And so this gentleman, I'll not say his name, and he went ahead and sent me his address. And that evening, I just sent him the number. Outside of the norm of going through the Zoom and all of that, I'm like, "Hey, this is okay, great." I sent him the number. He got a price for $42,500. A week later, they called him and said, "Hey, we'll drop it to $35,000." It went down to $27,000. We did his roof for $10,500. Again, when we say the roof truth, I mean, there's no, it's an industry of how much money does this homeowner really know anything?
Right.
Oh, they don't? Ooh, let's start them here and drop $5,000 and make them feel like they're getting an amazing deal. We just say, stop, go to theroofresource.com, get a quote within 24 hours, and know the truth. And at that point, in a month from now, 5 months from now, 6 months from now, and by the way, Jimmy, we have customers that call us back a year later and say, "We're ready to go. Can you just update my quote?" Okay.
Yeah.
But it's that is what goes on in the industry and that's the piece where, I get frustrated, and I just want a homeowner to know the truth. Once they know the truth, and if that homeowner decided to go with that company for $27,000, there's nothing
Right.
I'm done.
Right.
Meaning when I say I'm done, I've served him with the truth. Now it's up to them to make that decision.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, it goes back to the truth. And again, nobody likes to be sold, right? Everybody just wants their thing. And again, that it's kind of like the old school mentality of like pricing a house, right? The old school mentality of pricing a house was like, we'll start high and then we'll work down.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't work anymore, right? The fear now is that everybody's afraid of, they're scaring people off because they're pricing it too high. And the fear is it's going to go above asking anyway. So everybody's nervous. So I've got a couple of clients that I'm working with right now. When you take them out to look at a buy, it's like, well, that's at the top of my budget. And then there's going to be a bidding war. And I'm like, no, there's not. They're priced too high now, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they're working that old school mentality. I'll work backwards, which is like the roofers do. Let's pitch him at 45. And he's going to try to decide on it. A week later, hey, we're running this special this week. We'll do it for 35, right?
Well, I did a social post, and I said, "Hey, let's cut through the noise." You go to your ads when you need and there's all this, hey, $2,000 off, $2,500 off, $1,000 off on all these ads in the roofing industry. And I'm like, before you even invite somebody out, they're giving you $2,000 off. Off of what? Or 50% off of installation. Okay, well, 50% off of installation, like what is installation? And it's this, it's a bunch of, like, I call it noise.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what? You just need the truth. Anybody wants the truth, just go to theroofresource.com. We'll give you the truth. And then you can decide on if you want to call somebody out to your home and test it and go through that. I always tell them now, don't do it, because you're just going to waste 2 hours of your life and you're going to get confused.
Right.
Because they're going to talk about all these different synthetics and they're going to talk about this and that. And you're going to be like, it's made to be very complex, because something that is more complex should cost more money.
Right.
And we just removed the complexity out of it and made it simple.
Yeah. And it's like leasing a car, right? You look on the ad, it says $199 a month. You get there, it's $499 by the time you walk out the door, because that fine print on the bottom, right? That is no one qualifies for the $199, right?
Right.
And I think it's the same, because what the roofers can do, because I can charge you whatever I want for labor, and I can say half off on labor. Well, how much is labor?
Right, exactly. And in the roofing industry, it's been this kind of no holds barred.
Yeah.
There's been no, someone can go out and be charging $1,400 a square, and if they're the largest voice on the radio and TV, they're probably going to get it, because people just assume that that's the one to go to. And we're just like, hey, great service, I'm sure, good quality installation, I'm sure, but at the end of the day, I've had customers call me up and they're getting those quotes, and when you come in and you and you save a homeowner, which we had another one, matter of fact, and this was an older lady, like 80 years old, and she had a price for 28,000, and she agreed to it. And someone in the insurance field said, "Hey, you should call the roof resource." And she called us, and we installed her roof last week for 13.3. And so think of that. 80 years old.
Yep.
$15,000
Fixed income. Yeah.
15,000. And so, someone at the office said that's situational money. And I was like, well, that's a really big statement. It's not like saving $500.
No.
15,000 can pay off a car.
Yeah.
It's situational. So it's big.
Yeah, it's huge. And I think that's the thing. This is what I kind of want people to take away from this conversation today. We are in sales, right? Like we're all in the game of selling something, right? But we change our mindset to start helping people instead of selling things, right? That's when things become better. But again, it's getting people to understand what we do, right? What's the value that you're providing, right? The value you're providing is you're doing this whole system. You're going to be in and out, the speed, the accuracy. You're in and out. I don't have to do a lot of stuff at my house, like. Again, you have pets and kids and whatever else. Like, and now you got salespeople coming in. You got, it's like, can I just jump on a phone call with you? You know what I mean? Like,
right.
And you're like, no. How about even better? We'll just jump on a Zoom real quick. We'll have this all done and wrapped up in 30 minutes, and we'll be out tomorrow. Yes, please. Right?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
But the message for the realtors that are listening to is, guys, it's the same thing for us. How can we make this process smooth, easy for our clients? Then there's the cost and everything else. We don't need to add on to the cost of this, right? They're already going through this problem already. But again, when people see the value in it, the cost doesn't matter.
Right. And for the realtors out there, it's tuck the roof resource in your holster.
Yes.
Put that arrow in your quiver and know that if the roof ever becomes an issue, or they pull up and they go, ooh, that roof looks a little old, or it's the old 3-tab and you see canned ventilation on this gable roof, whatever that is, just immediately know, hey, I got the roof resource. I got the roof truth with me. So if we need to discuss that, I can get a quote within hours, and I'll know it. And then at that point, everyone's empowered, right? They have it's not this crazy $25,000, $30,000, $40,000 roof. It's a third of that,
right?
Or these smaller homes. I actually had one of your agents, Caitlin, I forget her last name, but she was an EXP when we were there in Detroit.
Okay.
And she just had sold a home in Beverly Hills to a couple, and she's like, hey, I need to get a quote. And we gave her a quote, and she called me back, and she's like, can I ask you a question? She's like, how do you do it for so cheap? How do you do it? And I'm like, it's just the process that we do. It's all based on volume. And she's like, that's amazing. And we installed that family about a month ago, all done, or 3 weeks ago. But it was just, it calls me back and it's like, hey, almost like the sidebar. How do you do it?
Right. Right.
And I'm like, and that's a great feeling, because it's like, now she knows that process, and she knows she has the roof truth in her quiver,
right,
whenever she needs it.
Right. Yeah. And again, these hours go by fast, but the roof resource, where can they find you?
Go to theroofresource.com.
Okay. Easy enough.
Easy enough. Nationwide.
Mike Harvey, you can find him on social media everywhere.
Yeah. Facebook, LinkedIn.
Yeah. I love it, man. I love it. And big things on the way, guys. There'll be
more to come.
More to come. Mike will be back on the show. Mike will be back on the show. So, guys, I appreciate the time again this week. Thanks for joining us on the Elite Real Estate Podcast. We will catch you all next week.